Good morning. Welcome to Story Time with Mr. Hallum. It's Friday. Friday. I believe. I don't know anymore. I've lost track of the days. Everything's gone haywire. Is it Friday? Tuesday? Thursday? It's gotten pretty bad. I don't know anymore. So today we're going to be doing the story When I Grow Up by Al Yankovic. Now, it's illustrated by Wes Hargis. It's funny for me to say Al Yankovic, but not to say Weird Al Yankovic, because that's his name. I've known of Weird Al for 30 plus years, and he's always been Weird Al. He does, well, that's just right there. See what I'm saying? Weird Al. He's a musician, singer, songwriter, quite hilarious. You probably know some of his songs. He did, instead of Beat It by Michael Jackson, he did Eat It by Michael Jackson. He did I Lost on Jeopardy. It's All About the Benjamins. If you were in my class before, you've probably heard me play White and Nerdy. That's my personal theme song because I am both white and nerdy. So today we're going to read his story, When I Grow Up. I waited so long for the hours to pass, but soon it was noon there in Miss Krupp's class. And Thursday at noon, I'm sure you know well, is time of the week when we do show and tell. And this week the subject, so special to me, was when I grow up, what I'm going to be. That's something I'd really been thinking about, and I just couldn't wait to let all those thoughts out. So when Miss Krupp said, "Who's ready to share?" you can guess who was there with his hand in the air. I raised both of my hands just as high as they'd go and bounced up and down, and then, what do you know? Well, Miss Krupp picked me, yes, me, to go first. Oh, I was so happy I thought I would burst. I proudly stood up and began my oration concerning my choice of my future vocation. Esteemed friends and colleagues and dear Mrs. Krupp, I know what I'm going to be when I grow up. Why, I'll be the greatest chef you've ever seen. The world will go crazy for my hoit hang on for a second. My mouth isn't working. Why, I'll be the greatest chef you've ever seen. The world will go crazy for my haute cuisine. I'll tantalize taste buds with my rigatoni, sauteed with black truffles and pickled bologna, surrounded by kumquats and candied pig's feet, topped with shrimp-flavored lollipops. Bon appetit! My walls will be filled with awards that I've gotten for toast on a stick and my Twinkies au gratin. My kitchen will be the most famous in France, so make reservations 12 years in advance. There's no doubt about it. I'm certain you see a world-renowned chef's what I'm going to be. That's very nice, Billy, sweet Mrs. Scrupp said. Who wants to be next? Maybe Susie or Fred. I said, hold the phone. I haven't departed. Hang on to your seats, 'cause I'm just getting started. See, maybe instead I could be a snail trainer. Man, that would be awesome. Why, that's a no-brainer. I'll teach all my snails to do really neat tricks. They'll play dead, roll over, and even fetch sticks. Of course, all the sticks will come back 2 years later, but working with snails, I mean, what could be greater? They'll do any stunt that I like. Holy moly! I'll train them to pedal a bike really slowly. Then ooze through a huge ring of fire and crawl at a snail's pace across a high wire. Then finish by writing my name with their trails. That's right, I'll be Billy, the master of snails. Or else maybe I'll be a lathe operator who makes the hydraulic torque wrench calibrator, which fine-tunes the wrench that's specifically made to retighten the nuts on the lateral blade that's directly beneath the main radial sockets inside cooling systems on X-14 rockets. And since this profession's as cool as can be, well, who would be better to do it than me? Say, here's an idea, perhaps just for laughs. I might make my living by milking giraffes. It's oh so cliche to get milk from a cow, and I'll bet all those cows need a break anyhow. Imagine me milking way up in the air. I'd use a tall ladder instead of a chair. What? Milking giraffes? Mrs. Krupp said. Oh, please. I counted. How else could we make giraffe cheese? Now, do not interrupt me. I'm not through yet. There's still a lot of stuff I'm planning to do yet. Because maybe I'll be a gorilla masseuse. Or an artist who sculpts out of chocolate mousse, or a rodeo clown, or a movie director, or maybe professional pickle inspector, or big sumo wrestler, or hedge fund investor, or smelly pit sniffing deodorant tester. See this one where he's sniffing the armpit? There's a meme that gets sent around, and it's guys with his armpit up and a lady sniffing it. And it's like, you may not like your job, but remember, there are worse jobs out there. And sniffing people's armpit, that's an actual job. Or I'll be an expert on nuclear fission, or else a foot model or friendly mortician, or waiter or skater or master debater, or dinosaur dusting museum curator, or TV repairman or sidewalk sign waver, or part-time assistant tarantula shaver. And that's when Miss Krupp said, "Now, Billy, please make up your mind. This is getting quite silly. Which one of those things are you going to choose?" I shuffled around and I looked at my shoes. And finally I said, "My great-grandfather Bob's been a whole lot of things, had a whole bunch of jobs. A butcher, a barber, a bellman, a bouncer, a telephone psychic, and a bingo announcer. And you know what? He just turned 103, and he's still not quite sure what he wants to be. See, I'm only 8 now, so frankly I'm hoping you'll cut me some slack if I leave my options open. Let's just wait and find out what my future brings. Hey, I might have time to do all of those things." And then the bell rang and we all went to lunch. And as I was sipping at my pineapple punch, I pondered professions that I'd like to enter, like brave firefighter or crazy inventor. Or maybe, just maybe now, when I grow up, I can be a great teacher like dear Mrs. Krupp. There we go. Weird Al Yankovic, When I Grow Up. So what do you want to do when you grow up? Now's the best time to think about it because honestly, there are jobs that are going to be that don't exist right now. You know, he was talking about the guy that makes a thing that works on a rocket. Yeah, that rocket doesn't exist, that piece doesn't exist, and yet he's thinking ahead. So why don't you think about that? Write down some things you like to do. Write down some things you're good at. And remember, I don't know how old you are, but things change. When I was in second grade, I was great at spitting loogies. Nobody was going to hire me to spit loogies. Even professional baseball players. Go figure. So maybe what you're good at right now will change as you get older. But figure that out. You got time. Then you'll know what to study in school. Hey, that said, have a great weekend. Don't forget Father's Day is this Sunday. So if you haven't bought your dad something, it's time to make up a coupon that said good for one free hug or high five or however you and your dad show affection. With my dad, I'll just wave at him from a distance as I drive by. I'll be like, "Hello." And he will appreciate that because he doesn't want me to come by the house either. He'll never see this, so I can say that. Thanks a lot. You guys have a great rest of the week, and we will see you next week with Story Time with Mr. Hallum.